Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And we got more spoilers. We've got a pre-release kit to talk about. We've got some Silver Age to talk about. And a lore drop. I'm excited. We finally got a lore drop.
There's only one spoiler that matters.
There is only one spoilers, too. One for me, one for you. You know how it is.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. How was your week in Flesh and Blood?
So, I didn't actually do anything in Flesh and Blood this week.
Is that a first?
I know.
No, that's not a first, is it?
Well, the last month has been like off and on. But no, I didn't actually do anything. When I was like Tuesday, I was getting ready to go to the armory, and I can't remember exactly what was going on, but then not like nothing in a bad way, but just some plans came up, and I was like, okay, well, let me get ready for that and let me do that. And then the plans got canceled. There's like 15 minutes left, and I'm like, to go to the armory, I'm like, well, I don't think I will make it in time, so I guess I will hold off for the day. But no, I didn't really do anything. Like, there's a spoiler card that came out that finally got me more excited for the set, so I started touching up my Valda deck with some of the spoilers and some things that I think that are going to be coming up in the, like, things that might be relevant. So I've been touching up my Valda deck, and I've been excited to do that, but other than that, nothing. How about you?
Not a ton as usual, but I did play some Levia on Talishar.
Okay.
And that will be the last Levia I play for a while.
I thought you were so excited to play her.
I was, and then I played her.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well,
no, that's fair.
It's partly because I played the deck, and I kept running those spots where not only did I not have a what's it called? It's not a
Banisher?
It's not necessarily a blood debt card, but like a card that banishes cards to turn off blood debt. What would you call that type of a card in that deck?
Just a banisher? You didn't have
I guess a banisher,
that...
yeah. I wouldn't have an extra banisher in the hand, and then I draw the next hand, like to arsenals. Like, usually you can play around not drawing a banisher by arsenaling a banisher, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just wouldn't draw a second one, so I'd banish with the first hand, and then I draw up a new hand. No banishers. It's like, oh, well, cool. I like my equipment. There's no way to fix the problem. There's no way to cycle. Like, weird. I guess I just kind of take free damage and then lose.
You might need some more banishers in your deck if it was a consistent problem.
It's not a consistent problem, but it happened a couple times, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't know about this. Well, the other thing too is just like Reinhardt looks so much more fun to me now with the new card, and I think I also have a Marvel Reinhardt that I get to use if I do want. Like,
you have a Marvel Reinhardt.
Yeah, from the history pack way back when. And I don't know. I think if I'm gonna play a brute, I should probably play Reinhardt. He's pretty cool. But the real reason I was testing a brute in the first place was in case I didn't want to play Ziggy for nationals. I wanted to have a different deck besides Stash.io in my back pocket. But now I have another deck in my back pocket to prepare for nationals, and we'll get to that.
Yeah,
in a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm excited.
But that's what's my week in Flesh and Blood was trying out some Levia and not quite liking it. At least not currently. I might come back to it, but not currently liking it.
I mean, she's a fun and interesting hero. It's just, I think she's intentionally flawed because I think she's very strong, and if she were to be consistent around her flaws, she would be like a terrifying deck.
Yes, so much strength, so much power in that deck. Which like when she was when the deck was humming, it was good. Like it was doing really good numbers and everything. But yeah, I don't know if I can handle. Dash.io was already some pretty low floors in terms of the hands you could draw, and
yeah,
I kind of want to try a deck that doesn't have that same problem.
You don't want to have a deck that's like, I drew my hand. This is negative 13 value. At least I flip.
Yeah, that was also the hard part too. Was trying to get the flip correct.
I that is a really hard part about like playing like Levia is trying to figure out, and that was something like I remember when the flip card came out, I played a lot of Levia, and trying to figure out how to flip is it's like insanely hard. Like it's a crazy like skill that you have to build.
Yeah,
It's like you don't want to go exactly down sometimes because like oh the opponent can dominate and they can push me over and then I can't flip. And then like sometimes it's such a weird balancing game. And like wizards, you can't go all the way down because they can instant speed damage you before like the end of your turn, and it's
yeah, that's quite interesting that you mentioned that because we have 3 new heroes coming out that can instant speed arcane on your turn.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's kind of relevant, isn't it? But yeah, it was an interesting experiment. I definitely want to toy with it more. I wish that I had a weekly armory I could go to because I think I would learn it a lot better playing it in paper instead of on Talishar. Just like the way there's something about playing a new deck on Talishar that my brain just turns off. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just something with it where I can't quite like I can't quite uh grasp everything that's going on or like I don't know how to describe it, but it's funky. Something with Talishar. If it's a deck that I already know, then I can play it perfectly fine on Talishar. But if it's a new deck, it's so tough for me to learn it on Talishar.
Yeah, I get that. And like even then, like deck edits, I feel like take a lot longer. Where it's like I have to play through like a deck like multiple times. Like with my Volta deck, I feel like on Talisker, I'm like, oh, I play through it multiple times just to change out 1 or 2 cards. But like in person, like I could play like 2 matches and I'd be like, oh, this doesn't actually feel that great. I should change this out for this card. And then it becomes much like I think in paper games are way better than Talishar games, but
Oh, for sure, 100%.
it's hard to always have in paper games.
Yeah, I just wish I could go to the Tuesday Armory every week. That would be so nice. That'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, that was my week of
Love
Flesh
to
and Blood.
have you. You know,
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
you ever need an extra deck? I don't think
Well,
that's the
that's not the
problem.
problem. Is just like I just don't have I just can't do Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Um, but if I can do a Tuesday every once in a while, I might try to borrow Levi cards from you. Try it on paper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can definitely give you some.
Hell yeah. But yeah, let's jump into the spoilers, which is the fun part of this week. Oh, do we'll wait for it to be. We'll wait for it to be its turn. We'll wait. But
Wait.
there's a specific spoiler that wait, is it already its turn? It is the first one, isn't it? Or is
Well, isn't turn to Mindfire the first one that we had? Because last week the last one we
You're right.
talked about was
You're right. Yes. Okay.
So you got a few cards. You can build up the suspense. There's actually a lot of cards. You can build up the suspense.
All right. All right. Yeah. We'll build it up. We'll build it up. Would you like to start?
Sure. Turn the Mindfire is a red 2-cost, 2-block wizard action. It says deal 5 arcane damage to any target. If this deals damage, you may tap your hero. If you do, create a ponder token.
Sorry, I realized that last week I forgot to do the overlay for the YouTube video, so I'm trying to set that up now.
Okay. But yeah,
this seems odd. It seems like maybe a limited card more than anything.
I don't know. It's so interesting because it blocks 2. And that's where I'm like, I feel like if it blocked 3, you could just put it in like wizard decks. And most wizards are like, oh, that's fine. It's my 2 for 5 arcane spell. But it still gives Voltic Bolt a reason to exist because it blocks 3 while this blocks 2. I'm trying to think like I'm sure this is worth more than Voltic Bolt, but
so there's already, and I guess here's a big difference. So we already have Swell Tidings. Let me put that up on the screen really quick. So it's up on there as well.
yeah.
This is also a 2 for 5 arcane with Surge. If this deals more than 5 damage, create a ponder token. And it blocks 3. But it is majestic. Oh, it's not upgrading. There we go, streaming on OBS. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a majestic, so Turn to Mind Fire can be played in Sage. Also, it doesn't have to surge, right? It only has to hit. It just if it deals any damage at all, you get to make a Ponder
Yeah.
token. So it's a little bit of an upgrade, but in terms of like the deal 5 damage cards, I don't know. I think if it was good, then like these decks would have been running Swell Tidings already. That's my thought.
So the thing is, I'm more worried about the 2 block. Like, it's gonna deal damage, and you're gonna get a Ponder token. Like, that's kind of what I see out of it. Well,
Yeah.
Cell Tidings, like, people didn't run it because you had to deal 6 damage, and if any Arcane Barrier was used, usually it didn't work. And Acilio, the one hero that could amp the heavens, could not pitch 2 to throw 5 arcane damage.
Okay.
At least the old Acilio.
Yeah, I'm turning on it. You're right. This is so much better.
Yeah.
You're basically guaranteed the Ponder token.
Hmm. And that's why I'm like, I think it's a good card. I just don't know if the 2 block is a deal breaker. I don't know Wizard well enough. And I'm like, I don't think
I
Kano
don't think
wants
it
to
is a
run
deal
it.
breaker. Because the thing is that you're just gonna be like, this is gonna be like a 1 card 3 or something, half the time, right?
I just think of it as like a
Which is
2 card
good
8.
for
If like
Wizard.
the Ponder is 3.
Well, that's why it's like 1 card because you're
Yeah.
refunding one of the 2 cards you're spending, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just still just okay, but I think this is very good in Silver Age, for what it's worth.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
agree.
extremely good in Silver Age. Icelander is going to be a menace if she doesn't get banned, which we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Turn to
I
Mind
don't
Fire.
think he's surprised.
Good Silver Age card. Still not quite sure if it's going to be a staple CC card.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself. But that's why I'm like, I think it's a good Silver Age card, but CC, I am holding my faith. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it in the list, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't.
They updated the Fabre overlay. I can choose which art to use now on cards. That's so nice. So the next card is Toma Quandaries, and the reason I bring that up is I can choose to show this extended art version of it, which looks really good.
I didn't know there was an extended art version.
Yeah, it's really nice. Toma Quandaries. It is a blue 0 cost wizard instant that blocks 2.
They took the one thing Guardians had. Instants that block.
Well, yeah, it's crazy that it blocks. That's surprising. It is a majestic, so it's only CC legal. It just says create 2 Ponder tokens. Now you might be asking yourself, why would you want 2 Ponder tokens? Well, there is a helmet that we spoiled, I think, last week, or that got spoiled last week, I should say.
Yeah.
Is it Sphinx or something? Yeah, Third Eye of the Sphinx. Where you can destroy a Ponder token to draw a card by paying 1. So you can effectively net a card with Toma Quandaries and the helmet, Third Eye of the Sphinx. That's pretty strong. That's very strong, actually.
I hear that, or like, I know there was some people on the spoiler channel talking about how like this makes Sphinx good.
Oh yeah, this makes Sphinx
Yeah.
Necessary, if you ask me, in most wizard decks, because you're effectively paying 1 resource to draw a card. And as long as like the ponders are getting a decent amount of value on average for you. I actually played in my testing of Levia. I played against an Acilio that was running these 2 cards, and it was strong. Like they were doing damage. They were getting their free cards. They were basically just throwing arcane every turn. It was a full arcane deck, and it felt good. It felt really strong. So Toma Quandaries, very strong card as long as it's paired with Third Eye of the Sphinx.
Yeah, no, I saw this card. I wasn't super impressed until I saw the wizard players going like, "This card's great." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess this is a good card."
Yeah. 1 resource draw card is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. You know, I'm happy if you want to run this into Valda. I will accept. You know.
Yeah, you draw off both of them, don't you? No, do you draw off Ponder?
Or Ponder is not during the action phase.
Okay.
I don't get a seismic surge off that.
Okay, so you only get the 1 off the draw.
Mhm. But when I'm at 2 Seismic Surge up to 3, it's pretty sick. We'll see how relevant it is, but I do think it's a cool card.
Yeah,
I
no,
do think
very
it's
cool card.
interesting that they like made a card that just says create 2 ponders like
I'm just
playable.
surprised they made it block. That was
I'm
surprising to me.
surprised they made it. I I wonder if it didn't block, if it was just unplayable, like if that makes any sense.
I mean, I could see you having some really weird hands where you like double draw it alongside of some other cards that don't give you pitch outlets. Um, so you just can't really get rid of it. That's my only thought. Is maybe that's what they're trying to avoid, but or maybe trying to make your turn 0 feel not as bad going second
Mm-hmm.
as a Cilio. That's my best guess. But otherwise, I don't
Yeah,
feel like it
I'm
needed
still just
to
surprised
block.
it blocks.
Yeah. Would you like to read the next one?
Then, yeah, going on to the next one. You got Unwinding Finality.
Indeed.
And it is a red, 0 cost, 3 block, 5 attack, lightning illusionist attack action that says, when this hits, draw a card. When this fragments, you may put a lightning instant card from your graveyard on the top of your deck.
It's becoming more and more clear why Channel Lightning Valley was banned.
Wait, was Channel Lightning Valley banned or
Yeah.
Channel Lightning Valley? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking Channel Thunder Steps.
So that's funny that you mentioned that because I looked into it when I saw this card spoiled. That was actually one of my first thoughts was, do we start running Channel Thunderstep now? I still think the answer is no, but it is interesting.
One day you could run it. I hope.
Now Razor Reflex on the other hand. No,
This
this card's
card's
really good.
crazy though.
This card's very, very
This
strong. I think that I think that Zig's gonna be playing a lot of pumps. You're gonna be playing your lightning presses. You're gonna be playing probably I think you might actually play Razor Reflexes and whatnot. And this is gonna be a solid part of it. Like the thing is that against a against an aggro deck that doesn't really want to block, they're forced to put either a 3 block in front of this or an equipment that blocks 2. In order to to actually cut down the power to fragment it, right? And so, you might look at this at first and be like, okay, it has fragment, so they just put a 3 block in front of it, and that's it. Now, but that's the floor, is that you traded a card with them. That's the floor of this card. Isn't that kind of insane? Like you're forcing a 3 block on it.
Yeah. No, this card is crazy. Like I've been thinking about it, and it's something where it's like, what is worse? Like I actually wonder what's worse. Is the on hit effect that bad? Or is the like I get to put a lightning instant from my graveyard on the top of my deck? Like, which one's the worst effect? And it might be something where it's like, oh, you have no lightning instants in your graveyard. I'm okay to block. It's turn 0. But like past that point, like I was thinking like as a Volta player, I'm almost just like, especially since I get a benefit to draw, I'm like, I just feel like I'm never gonna block this card. You're gonna throw this in front of me, and I'm like, I just don't want you getting those lightning instants back in your deck. Because those are what I feel like are going to be like the powerful cards in Ziggy, or at
You
least
know,
the cards that allow you to do all your stuff.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, 0 for 5 draw card is pretty good. If you just are like, yeah, but let it
It's
hit.
pretty
Like
good.
that's better snatch.
It is better snatch.
Yeah, if you're
That's
like,
what they
I've
gave
never
Ziggy.
if you're humanity never block this card. This is just like snatch on steroids. Like it blocks 3. Sign me the fuck up.
Now that you say that, it is a 0 for 5 snatch that blocks 3.
If you never
And
block it, yeah.
and then when the opponent decides to block it, you still get a benefit of putting a card on the top of your deck from your graveyard.
Now, whether or not that is like relevant, that's very good at the time, is something because like it really depends if that's super valuable. Well, okay, that's I don't know where I'm going with it. It's always gonna be valuable. What am I saying?
That's what my Oh no, I think this card is very scary. Like a 0 for 5 snatch or a 0 for 3, like put a card from your graveyard on the top of your deck.
Yeah.
Like that sounds insanely
0,
strong.
yeah.
And that's not
0 for 3. You took a card out of your opponent's hand unless they gave you like a 2-block equipment plus a 1-block equipment, which is still fine. Yeah, and you get to tutor a card from your graveyard on top of your deck. Yeah. this card's disgusting.
and then Ziggy also has all those instants that pump in the reaction step. So someone could block this and you still pump, so you get to draw that instant that you just put on the top of your deck.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's why I'm like, I almost wonder if it's just better to just let 5 damage hit, because I don't want to block 5 and then you put an instant on the top and get your choice instant in your hand to play because it's an instant. Like, I'm like, it might just read 0 for 4 on hit or 0 for 5 on hit, draw a card as a card. Like, this is a crazy strong card.
Yeah, it's also funny because like depending on how the decks are built, your opponent can like attack you and have 2 cards in hand, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do about this? Because then if you block it, then they could pump it, draw the card, and then play the instant in an arsenal. Or if you don't block it, they draw a card, they play out one of their instant auras, hit you with, or throw the weapon swing at you, and then arsenal the new card. Or I think that they can just throw this with 2 cards in hand, and you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
This feels like Ziggy's Tempestuous Kiss.
Yeah. Tempestuous Kiss.
Tempestuous Kiss. I will never get that name right, apparently. Tempestuous Kiss.
But yeah, very strong card for Ziggy.
Very strong card in general. I think like it is strong.
Yes, just a very strong card. I agree. Next we have Corrosive Space Dust. This is a 1-cost red Lightning Illusionist instant aura at rare. When this leaves the arena, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Ward X, where X is 4 if this has a hollow counter. Otherwise, X is 1. So basically, if it has a hollow counter for some reason, it wards 4. So like if you've either played the blue that puts like flickers an aura and puts a hollow counter on it, or if you've activated the Ziggy hero ability, it'll ward 4. And if you flicker it, it'll deal 1 arcane for the flicker and then another arcane when it dies. So the ward. And so it's like a 2-card 6 in a way. I do air quotes because you're dealing 2 arcane and you're blocking 4 ideally. I don't know. Seems okay. It comes in rainbow, by the way. It does come in yellow and blue, where the ward value drops.
I know this card's probably not that great, but it terrifies me.
Yeah.
As a Guardian player, seeing Ward 4 again and seeing large amounts of Ward brings back a lot of trauma. I saw this card and the Arcane is also good because it's on the opponent's turn, so it's not this. Most of the time, this isn't going to be preventable. And if you flicker this in and out, you also get to throw the weapon, and the weapon costs 2. So if you flicker this out, or it's it's on the same cost curve, right?
I think the main draw of this card in my mind is against the slow decks, where you effectively get to set up a wall and then protect whichever ward you want to protect. Yeah.
Guardian is
not against Volda necessarily, but against slower guardians, where you could just start playing these and other big ward things and slowly put hollow counters on them, and then eventually you have ward 12 on board, and then you can have some other ward auras that are much more fragile, you want to keep around but would normally die.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good, but still dealing 2 arcane because it bounces and then it leaves, and it probably will prevent 4. It scares me. Deep down, my memories of Enigma are coming back.
Yeah, but you can attack with these auras, at least not currently.
Yeah. It doesn't look like you
Sorry, that's wrong. That's
run,
wrong.
but
You can run Iris of Reality
you
and
could.
Reality Refractor. So you can attack with
Yeah,
these
but then you
auras.
can't do the hollow counters. So at least
What do you mean?
you can't put a hollow counter. Oh no, you can. Never mind. Ignore me. I was thinking something else. I'm not a fan. Anyways,
This is actually curves out really well with Reality Refractor.
that's great. That's that's really great. You know, I'm just
Oh,
huge
that's
fan.
that's fun. That's interesting. This is a 2-card,
Mm.
at least 7. It's at minimum 2-card 7. Again, if you run Reality Refractor. Hold on.
They do like reality refactors
5 power.
5 power. Yeah, at minimum it's a 2-card 7. And then if you activate Ziggy's ability on the next turn, it's now warding 4 and dealing 2 extra arcane. Oh wait, no, you're not warding it. But it's now warding
Deals
4.
1 extra
Like,
arcane. But you have to
yeah,
spend a card in Lightning Flow to do the flicker for what it's worth.
yeah.
But okay, but wait, this might have upgraded because of Reality Refractor.
It scares me.
that is
My
that's
trauma.
But all right, what's the next one?
The next one is Prophetic Quickstep. It is a yellow, 1 cost, 3 block, 3 attack, Lightning Runeblade attack action. And it has Quick Strike. If this has Go Again, it gets +1, and when this attacks a hero, deal 1 arcane damage to him. And it has text of, the first time this deals damage to a hero, create a ponder.
Pretty good.
It's pretty
I
good.
like it.
If it has Go Again, it's a 1 for 5 with split damage that creates a ponder.
This scares me in Silver Age because it's a rare.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, this feels more of a Silver Age card because I don't know how much Go Again you're willing to give to a lot of cards. And I mean, if you're gonna give Go Again to a card or save it for anything, you're gonna give it to Tempestuous Kiss because that card is broken. But
Well, I mean, it just depends on how the new Aurora is built. If you these
fair.
cards all cost 1, which lends you to wanting to run a more blues and like a higher blue count. Because if you end up drawing all reds, I mean, this one's a yellow at least, so this one can be a pitch card for the other ones. But
Right.
it just starts getting expensive in the resource portion of the deck because previous Aurora was like very red line, right? Like it had some blues, and basically if you drew a blue, that allowed you to either grasp and weapon, or I mean that was basically it. You just grasp and weapon if you had a blue, and then you often use Tunic counter to swing the Starfall when you didn't, and so you basically ran pitchless. Um, and so this one's looking like it's going to want a much higher blue count.
Yeah, which
Cards.
I think is healthier.
Yeah. And
But
then
it
like
also is
the
like,
payoff is so much larger too.
yeah, I think the payoff is higher when it's like, I'm dealing arcane and physical, and if this any damage goes through, it's a ponder token, or I'm dealing 6 physical, 1 arcane, and if any damage goes through, you discard a card. Like it seems like there's a lot more payoff to like Aurora's like playstyle.
Yeah.
And she's not just 0 for 4 the hero.
Yeah. Rabbles and whatnot. And you don't CLV anymore, which again, I'm very much understanding why CLV was banned.
Yeah. Well, especially with Ziggy being able to do a whole bunch of silly things with instants.
So much instant arcane damage from Ziggy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been disgusting in Ziggy, holy.
It would have been gross.
Yeah. All right, the next one is Arcanic Reproach, a blue 0 cost. Blue 0 cost. Lightning Runeblade instant aura that is majestic and blocks 3. The first time an opposing hero deals damage to you each turn, you may reveal a lightning card from your hand. If you do, deal 1 arcane damage to them. At the start of your action phase, destroy an aura you control. It's kind of interesting. I like
That's
it.
interesting.
It's an instant that blocks 3, which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
It is a blue, so you can just have this as a pitch card when you don't want to play it. You can synergize this with some of the Rosetta auras that says if this is destroyed,
If this leaves the arena, I'm
or
pretty
if
sure
this leaves the arena or whatever, on your own turn, do something like make range chance and whatnot. So you can kind of synergize it with those to both keep it around and get another benefit out of it. There's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with this.
So I like that it's a blue block 3 because it's something that can be naturally pitched down.
Yeah.
And if you ever have the life lead and you're in second cycle, or you have the life lead and you just draw this late, you can play this in response to the opponent attacking you because it's an instant, and then take the damage, dealing an arcane. And if they're at low life, sometimes that could just be lethal. Like if it's 1-1, they're throwing just a 0-for-4 at you, or not 1-1. Maybe it's like 1-2.
Yeah, you have
they
to
throw
have
a 0-for-4.
right.
You play this, you block with a 3 block, you take 1, deal 1, you can win the game off of this. I also think, like, I don't know how many auras Aurora is going to be running, but if she runs a lot of auras, or if she can generate a lot of lightning flow, this could be really interesting because you put it out and just keep it on for like 3-4 turns. You're Aurora, you're gonna take damage every single turn. This could turn into a 0-for-4 blue. And then I also think it's interesting, especially inside of this set too, because all the heroes have ways to ping on your turn as well. So this is dealing double damage. Like against Ziggy, this has got to be a crazy card on Ziggy because Ziggy wants to hit you on your turn and his turn.
That's a good point.
And it's like, okay, 1 arcane damage, destroying your ward. And in my turn, you deal an arcane, doing an arcane, destroying your ward. Like,
yeah. I think something else that's interesting about this too is that I think Aurora might already want to run the blue instant sigils that Acilio often runs. The
yeah,
like the arcane shelter ones, where like if you take arcane damage, destroy this, and then when it leaves the arena, make an embodiment of lightning. I forget which one that's called, but like you can run some of those auras that would normally never be destroyed in some matchups, and then destroy it with this and get an embodiment of lightning, which is quite.
oh,
Which is
that's
quite
so interesting too. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
That's really good against the slow matchups.
No, this says when you take damage, you deal 1 arcane damage to them. It's not to target.
No. So it's the second part. At the start of your action phase, destroy an aura you control. You can destroy the sigil.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm illiterate.
So I think like that'll be really good against the slow fatigue matchups where you want to maybe set up some of these sigils and then you play this, and now every turn you get an embodiment of lightning, which turns on your quick strikes or your other cards that gain benefits from go again.
That's
you get to have larger turns. So cool card. I think
I do like it.
Design space a lot.
And I don't even think it costs really much because it's a 3 block blue that's 0.
Yeah.
So that's just something that Aurora can easily put in the deck.
All right, the next one I'm gonna go twice in a row because
you're good.
Yeah. Pile driver. This is a guardian weapon. It's a log. We got the log. It's a Betsy specialization. It says action, pay for, tap, attack. When this attacks, you may wager a gold token with the defending hero. It attacks for 6. It's a majestic. Why is it majestic? It should be rare. It doesn't matter. It's fine. We got the log anyway. It's here. I get to play Flesh and Blood again. This is the deck that I'm preparing for Nats. No, this card. Yeah.
This card got spoiled, and I sent Cody DM. I'm like, you can finally unquit Flesh and Blood. You can come back.
Little did everyone know, I was forced out of Flesh and Blood until they printed this card.
Well, if they're old time viewers, you said you would quit back in high seas or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was heavy hitter. Like if they don't give us log, I'm quitting. And then
they didn't
give us log.
I think it was in Super Slam. It was for Super Slam where we were getting all those expansion slot cards, and I was like, if we don't get log in one of these expansion slot cards, then I'm quitting Flesh and Blood, and they didn't. We didn't get one. But now we got one. We're good.
Yeah.
I can come back.
No, better than ever.
Sorry. This card is actually very good. Not only does it just naturally fit into the hero ability with the cost 4, so you use 2 blues, you get to overpower this and swing 7 if you want to, while wagering a gold. But it works insanely well with the helmet. Do I have the helmet here? No, I don't have the helmet right here. Where do I have the helmet? I have the gold foil helmet, which is so sick.
But anyways, I can read it out loud, but it's like good time Chapeau. Says
Yes.
action: destroy a gold you control. Your next attack this turn gets one. This attacks a hero. Wager a might and a vigor token with them.
So
Which then
yeah,
the
go for it.
next turn makes this a 1 card 7 because it you have a vigor that gives you the extra resource and a might that gives it +1.
Yep.
So it's a 1 card 7 after you activate this and hit.
Yeah. So long as your opponent lets it hit, you can 1 card 7 them every single turn. And even if they block it once,
Oh my god, I didn't even think about it being every single turn.
even if they block it out for 7, you can just go back to 2 card 7ing them instead until you get to 1 card 7 again. Isn't that
This is
insane?
so good. This is
Uh,
so good.
it's actually very strong. Mostly because you get to also like against aggro, they don't want to block your 7, right? So you get to do this 1 card 7 every turn, and then against fatigue, you get to have overpower 2 card overpower 7. So you just have the better weapon into them.
Yeah. It's really good in the fatigue because like people run Sledge of Anvilheim and like Guardian Mirrors because the idea of I'm running a 6 weapon into you and it's a 4 for 6. It's this text except it doesn't have the one this the other thing is it also like Sledge of Anvilheim says action not once per oh wait, it's a tap, never mind, I forget that
It
he
is a
changed
tap,
some
yeah.
stuff. It's a tap.
Um,
Ignore that last part, but like it has the extra text of like this wagering, which
yeah,
is Sledge, but wagering.
yeah. I think the only real downside is that a lot of fatigue decks, like you have to wager to get the overpower part, and so you can give them gold, which they can then use to swing their weapon for free against you and whatnot. Which I mean, I guess you're kind of doing the same thing to them, but
Mm,
we'll see how it plays into the fatigue decks. But in my mind, you just have the better fatigue weapon. You have the better fatigue weapon. You have a very good aggro weapon paired with the helmet against aggro. This is nuts. This is like unironically, I think
it's
Betsy could be legitimately good now.
insane. So I don't know if you saw somewhere. I don't know exactly what the statistics was from. It might have been like Falberry or Talishar, but it was like play rate of some heroes, and it was like Betsy and like, or it was like trending heroes or whatever. But like
Yeah.
Betsy was like on the bottom of the trending heroes. This log comes out, and it's like the graph of all these heroes, and Betsy just like shoots up to like the top.
Yep.
It was crazy,
I
but
think
I think this is so cool.
it's so cool. It's so strong. I
Mm.
think the only downside I can think of is because it's just a log, you can't pummel it, which is slightly sad. But that's
I
it.
mean, it's two-handed, but like that you got to expect that.
It's also two-handed, so you can't pair it with like Rampart or something. Um, but I don't think you need to. I think you're just good enough
Yeah.
with it as is. Uh, because like that's the cool thing too is like usually against aggro, Guardian will do like Titan's Fist plus Rampart or something or like some other shield to try to have the defensive value. But you just already have this game plan against aggro with the helmet and like the 1 card 7 unless they
Yeah.
block you out. Yeah, unironically, Betsy is real. Like I think
Did they
Betsy's
make
actually real.
Rock but in Pile Driver?
Basically, it's basically just
Like,
Rock but better. Yeah.
but no,
Um,
I think this card makes Betsy like insanely real. Like what you were saying, like she went from like the Azalea of old times of like, why would you ever play Betsy? Like
yep.
you have every other hero in the game, and da da
Now
da
you
da
have a
da.
real reason to play her.
And now you have a real reason. Like this
Yeah.
is like insane value. And
Yeah.
I think it's cool because like I was talking to someone a long time ago, like probably when Betsy first came out, and it's like, oh, like Betsy, like what would the log even look like? I'm like, well, it'd probably be like the same as Sledge of Anvilheim as like a 4 for 6 because you need a big weapon, and then it would also like wager. I didn't think wager a gold. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, probably like wagers like a might or something. So it's like, oh, you can activate Betsy's ability on it, and then there'd be a reason
Right.
to run it. But this is crazy, and it being a gold too is insane.
Well, the fact that wages a gold is nuts. I did not expect that. I expected a good wager weapon. I did not expect it to wager a gold.
And then it's also in like a guardian hero too, where you have so many blues. So you could just like late game and in certain situations, maybe you haven't been using so much gold. You have like 5, 6 gold piled up. You can just like pitch into all your gold, have a lot floating, and do something weird with your pitch stack where you end up or like draw into your pitch stack and it's like, my my like drink them under the table. And then I pummel it because I have all these floating resources. And I've
Yeah.
activated Betsy's ability. So you're discarding 2. I'm drawing a card. Like you can do some silly things by creating a lot of gold by just consistently hitting with this too.
Yeah, yeah, it'll really depend on the matchup whether you effectively crack the gold immediately for your helmet or if you save it up to do some larger
Mhm.
turns, right? And that's the fun part with this deck is I I have to decide like I haven't toyed with making a list yet, but whether or not the deck ends up that's okay. So this is actually my one concern with the deck is that I think it will just become a fatigue slop deck. I think you'll probably run like the Fiddler's Greens and like Sirens Calls and all that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, that's what Betsy already was.
I mean,
Like anyone running.
you were like a weird mismatch,
Mm,
mismatch is what I don't know. What anyway, you were like a weird combination of like you wanted to have the aggressive tools to play your good specialization wager cards, while also being defensive until that point because you didn't have a lot of strength outside of it, right? Um, And whereas this one now you have just a solid weapon that you can just you could be very aggressive with this, right? You could just have this guaranteed
mm,
strong overpower damage. Like you can basically just effectively always be pushing damage or threatening to be pushing damage, or you can play it super fatiguey, like play kind of like the Victor decks right now, where they're very very fatiguey. They have
mm.
their end game combo, right? Um, I think that's kind of where it ended up being, which is like not exactly where I want to go with Guardian in the most part. Like I'm not a big fatigue Guardian fan personally.
Well, if you want to build an aggressive Guardian deck, I have the person to talk to. Or
Oh,
you
I
have
know,
the person to talk to. I
but unfortunately, Valda is not Betsy, so it's.
Volda's not Betsy, but like I've built a lot of Guardians in my day.
I just realized something. Happy Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day, everybody. This is Betsy's year.
It's Betsy.
Mama Betsy. But yeah, no, very very cool card. I'm excited to start. Really, I think the deck is super real. I
Mm,
unironically am going to be preparing Betsy for nationals. At least until we get all of Ziggy's cards, and I decide whether or not I'm playing Ziggy instead. Um, but yeah, very very this one card alone. Which I mean, obviously, when it comes to like, I think it's called sip sip, right? Start and play, stay and play. When it comes to like sip
yeah.
sip stuff for decks that can really change a deck. This is the strongest thing as a weapon, a good weapon.
This
Um,
is this it's kind of like interesting. Is like, is this one of the strongest weapons? Like, especially like in combined with like a hero ability?
no, you know what the strongest weapon is, right? Rosetta
Well,
Thorn.
like that's still legal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's still. I mean, Rosetta Thorn is. You could talk
Also,
Rosetta Winter's Wail.
Lynch as well. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
Dustbane, which got
Yep.
banned before it even was
Yep.
playable. Like
Yep.
there are these strong weapons, but I mean, like in current Fab,
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Strongest weapon in current
like
fab.
in like it seems really strong.
It's
The
very
cool, you know, what's also really cool about this is if you have Terra Sunders in the deck, you have Good Time Chapeau trigger, you have a Vigor, you can Terra Sunder this because it's a Guardian attack. And then it comes in like it would come in for if you have the Might and the Vigor token, it would come in for 8 Dominate on hit, discard 2 on hit, created gold. Like
Yep. Yeah, so that's the thing too. Is like
pretty cool.
that is and it's just a nice blue card you can just run. Unless I'm thinking that there might be a Clash Betsy out there, where you run
Mhm.
mostly attacks, um, and then some Clash cards because then it lets you run like the Test of Iron Grips and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if a list of Clash Betsy would still run Terra Sunder just because you're creating like vigors. It makes it easier to play Terra Sunder.
I mean, yes and no, because like yeah, it makes it easier to play if you're making vigors, but at the same time, I think you just don't need it. I think you already have the overpower, you already have the on hits. You don't want to like double the on
Mhm.
hits necessarily.
I
Because
mean, overpower and dominate is better than just dominate, and better than overpower.
why am I blanking on what overpowers is?
You can only block with one action card.
Yeah, that's the
So
same difference
like,
as dominate. Then
yeah,
it
but
doesn't
like,
change dominate, right? Oh, I guess block cards. There aren't that many
yeah, you can
decks with
use
block
block
cards though.
cards to get around. You can get. You can also play reactions to get around overpower.
Yeah, but like we'll see because like for example, you need to be aggressive into Ziggy, or else you're gonna have a pretty rough Ziggy matchup, right?
Oh
Um,
no, 100%,
because like the,
hundred
the
percent.
more the more ward they build up, the less good it is to wager, and then you start getting like you start just falling even further behind. So that's like my one concern with building the fatigue version of Betsy is that you will probably just auto lose to Ziggy unless you can just fatigue him, which maybe that's probably just your plan actually is you just fatigue him. I think about it. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much more time on Pile Driver, even though it's the best card that's ever come out in Flesh and Blood. Let's move on.
Ever come out in flesh and blood is wild, but it's a cool card.
All right, would you like to talk about Gear Turner?
So Gear Turner is a red, 1 cost, 3 block, 5 attack, mechanologist action attack. When this hits, you may search your deck for a cog and put it into the arena. Shuffle. I hear this is really strong. I'm not the mech player, so you.
This is super strong. So, one of the big limitations of Puffin, and this is it doesn't say it doesn't say Pirate Mechanologist, but this is a Puffin card realistically. I mean, you can run this in other ones for what it's worth. But anyway, uh, one of the biggest weaknesses with Puffin is how you how you find your cogs, how when you draw your cogs, because you have to run a sweet spot number of them so you don't overdraw them. You have to find them in order to turn on your most powerful effects. And this is a 1 for 5 block 3 that on hit basically draws you a card. And sometimes literally draws you a card because you can put the
Oh
cog
yeah.
in the arena and crank it. And then that can be the second crank you need to draw a card off Puffin. And it can give you an action point back.
Oh, it can give you. I didn't even think about
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I
You can
was
get the
like,
action
yeah, but
point
it
back.
doesn't have go again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I will say though, like it's gonna be kind of rare for that action point to matter too much. Actually, sorry, that's not right. Because you can crank it and then swing. Is it Spitfire? Which one's one that doesn't cost anything?
Yeah, where it's like just tap a cog.
Yeah, one of them doesn't. Yeah, it's Spitfire, where you don't have to pay any pitch for it. Which I mean, obviously you could pitch a blue to this and then do the other one. I forget what the other one's called, which costs you, I believe. Yeah, you could. This could be like if you start running Tunic and you Tunic counter. Well, let's just say you don't run Tunic because that starts breaking the math. This could be like a 2 card 8 at its floor, and that's not even using the other pitch. Like that's like saying you're spending a whole card on the 1 cost pitch. That's of course if it hits. That's the one limitation I see with this currently is that I don't think you have any way to pump this in Puffin that like realistically that you would want to run. And so this will mostly just be a chain ender that is almost a must block for most decks. Because there's just so much value if it hits. I think it's very strong in boost Puffin, for example. You go like throttle into this, that's a 3 card 11 plus an on hit. I'm sorry, what? Actually, no, there's more. It's 3 card 13 because if you crank the cog and then Spitfire, that's a 3 card 13. That's disgusting. But anyway, very strong card.
Yeah.
And that's not even
Okay.
the only.
Okay.
That's not the only
I've
Puffin
been
card
convinced.
that's not the only card that Puffin got. And I'll go over the next one, which is Crash Site Salvage. Let me pull that up on the screen. There's EA
I'm
of this
surprised
too.
Button got so much stuff for her hero.
Yeah, I was surprised to get the second one because the 1 card alone was good. Now this card is also nuts. This is a yellow 0 cost, crash site salvage. Yellow, 0 cost, 3 power, 3 block, pirate mechanologist action attack at majestic. Scrap, which, if for those of you who don't remember, it means that you, as additional cost to play this, you may banish an item or equipment from your graveyard. And then it says, when this attacks, if it scrapped a card, doesn't have to be a cog or anything. If it scraps a card, this gets go again. And then if a cog was scrapped this way, create a gold token. Holy shit. A gold token in Puffin? That's what she needed. That was the thing she was missing, was ways to make more gold. And this makes a gold at a very minimal cost. A very minimal cost of having a cog in your graveyard.
Which is like so interesting because like the scrap doesn't really mean anything. Once it goes to graveyard, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
So it's like it really is just like a yellow 0 for 3 with go again, create a gold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 0 for 3, go again, make a gold is effectively how it will read most of the time. Which is so good. It's so good. Very, 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 very strong card for Puffin. Either of these two cards alone would make her, I think, a viable deck. I think the both of them together make her a real deck.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting because like I did not expect them to try and buff Puffin so much. Go like, hey, Puffin, here's all the support. Take all these cards.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them, but like they're both strong cards.
I knew I should have gotten my backspin thrusts, my EA ones. I missed out. Now I'm curious how much they went up. Why am I doing this to myself?
Oh. You have a lot of decks you want to play.
I have so many decks I want to play.
You could just play Volta.
It actually hasn't gone up that much. It was already, the EA one was already like $30, and it's just at there like 35, 40. So it's really not that much crazier.
Okay. Not that bad.
Yeah.
I expected that to be way more.
Honestly, it might go up even further. Like this might be the cheapest it's gonna be for a while. But anyway, I don't want to talk the finance part of of the Flesh and Blood.
Well, I mean, like, I still think that's cheap for like a extended art card. Like,
yeah, and the playable, actually,
just looking at
what's the playable one?
The playable one.
Or not the playable one. The base rarity is one is what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was funny when you like the playable
it's
one.
$2, which is that's perfectly fine for a Flesh and Blood card for Majestic.
Yeah, and what could be a really strong Majestic too. Like that's, I feel like, fairly fair.
Would you like to cover the next pirate card? That is also very strong.
So, Red Lure Harpoon is a blue 2 cost, 3 block, 4 attack, Ranger Pirate, or Pirate Ranger action attack arrow. If you've activated a cannon this turn, this gets when this hits a hero, banished red card from their graveyard. You may play it until the end of your next turn. I'm not entirely sure how good this is.
This is nuts.
Okay.
just in case you were wondering, this is nuts. So it's a blue harpoon.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that alone, very good.
Yes.
It could have 0 text and it would already be good enough to run in Marlin. And then if you activate a cannon this turn, this gets, when this is a hero, banish a red action card from the graveyard. Then you can play it until the end of your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to go again on this arrow to use that card. And now, obviously, against a lot of heroes, this might not have any text, but that's fine. It's still a blue 3 block harpoon, even in that case. So you just use main deck this card, this really good blue card in your deck now. Against some decks, this will be disgusting. It'll be +4 value on hit.
That's fair. Yeah, there's definitely some decks where it's just a 0 for 4.
Yeah, there'll be some decks where it'll be, well, oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Sorry, I thought you meant this card was a 0 for 4.
Oh no, sorry. Like it'll hit and give you a 0 for 4, and then like it gets like 4 value. That, or like you get a pump. Like you could have, what's like a pump that?
Well, it says action card for what's worth. So you can't like grab Hummel, for example.
Well, not like a reaction pump, but like just a like nimbleism kind of pump.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You could like have a pump that like buffs it, but
So like I'm curious now. I want to look at some of the latest tournament decks and see what red action cards you can grab with this that are relevant.
This is really funny in the mirror.
It's really
Like,
funny in the mirror.
well, you're premeditate. I will take that and I will play that.
You can grab like a boulder drop against guardians.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, you have so many blues. You could like throw my spinal crush back at me, or throw my put them in their place, like right back at me. Like,
E strike. That's a really good
oh,
one.
E strike's a good one. Okay, yeah,
That's really it for the guardian matchup. I mean, you can grab like CNC and stuff too, but it's not quite as good.
yeah,
It's gotta be something else. Oh, let's look at marionette. Like what red cards in marionette could you grab?
yeah. And that's kind of what I was wondering. It's like,
You can grab leave no witness. You can grab some of the go again reds like pain in the backside and infiltrate. That's just a solid 3 value, if not more.
kiss of death.
Kiss of death. Yep. I mean, this doesn't
That's
go
true.
again is the problem. So it's like
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to block and throw it back, but yeah, that's not as good.
it'd be
Infiltrate
really
would be a
funny
fun one.
if there was a way to get rid of your cannon so you could play Orb Weaver Spinneret and get its Felicity token.
You could just throw leave no witness. Like, I hit you, I'm going to banish your leave no. I'm gonna throw your leave no at you.
Yeah. No, I mean that's like that's the real thing. It's like you're gonna get often 3 to 4 value off this card when you want to play it, and then when you don't want to play it, it's still a blue 3 block harpoon.
Yeah.
So super strong card. I'm very scared of this as an additional strong card. If I play like Dash IO, for example, into Marlin, because you can play the crank items. Like she could she could steal my red backup protocol, which is a big deal. That's a really good
Oh,
card.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah.
You know that harpoon you didn't like? It's back.
Yeah.
And better than ever.
Yeah, exactly. Just to grab any red harpoon the next turn. But yeah, very good card. I think it's disgusting. I think again another huge bump to an older hero.
You take your boom grenade.
No, so Boom Grenade says Mechanologist attack. Attack action card.
Oh, never mind.
So it'd be like red backup protocol or I'm blanking on what else it would be. Hold on, there's gotta be another card that you can grab besides only red backup protocol.
You've got the deck.
Convection Amplify. Well, you're not running that. You can grab Heist, which is kind of funny.
That's
I mean, that's kind of it. Unless you want to, unless I mean, there's also the fact that they could grab like a throttle or something, and then they could
just throw that.
block out, play a throttle, and then arsenal card.
It's like a 1 card 6.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they can just get some good value out of it too. That's the thing is like they don't have. It doesn't have to be a Gogan card. They can just like grab something that a good big attack, and now they just have an extra free attack. They can just like block 3 cards and then throw the attack if they want to the next turn and just
Yeah, I
get
mean,
good
throwing
value.
a boulder drop back at me would be
Exactly
relevant.
Yeah, like they hit you with it, and then they
It's a 1
banish
card
boulder
7.
drop.
Oh.
They get to block 3 cards and send a 7 power attack with an on hit. Like that's so good.
You hit your value of 0 for 4 for cards, and you have a
Wait, actually,
at the end.
soup up is disgusting if they get the banish soup up because they can destroy a gold
Oh,
and then it gets go
yeah.
again. That's a 0 for 4 go again right there.
So there's a lot of good things you can grab.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things to hit in Do, depending on the list. But anyway, yeah, very strong card. The next card, actually, I don't know the name of this because it was posted in Japan. Oh, here it is. It's Browbeat. Next card is Browbeat. Let me pull that one up on the stream. Browbeat. It's a better. Ooh, there's an EA version too. This is a 0 cost blue generic attack action that attacks for 1 and blocks for 3 at Majestic. That says this gets +1 power or for each card in your hand. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good card. The fact that it's generic is kind of insane to me.
Where is this good? Like that's what I look at this.
So the initial thought, the initial thing that I saw someone else mention is Lyeth. You give this go again, and you play this from Arsenal. This is a 0 for 6 go again. That's pretty good. A blue 0 for 6 go again, not bad.
I mean, that is good. That is good.
I think it does require go again to really shine because yeah, like you mentioned, it is for every card in your hand. You can also play this in decks that have a lot of instants. So like Ziggy could use this where they play it out of Arsenal. They have 4 cards in hand. This is 0 for 5, and then they instant out a few auras.
And that's what I'm like. I feel like this is Ziggy flavored, but like I just don't know if there's gonna be enough room in the deck for something like this. Like I don't understand why this is a majestic. This feels like a. Well, I guess I understand why it's a majestic because its ceiling is insanely high.
The ceiling is super high, is why, yeah.
But its floor is, and I mean, I guess its floor is a 0 cost blue block 3.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is if it had any kind of, if it wasn't a blue, or if it didn't block 3, or if it didn't cost 0, I would be like, yeah, this is whatever. But it's all 3 of those things. So at its floor, it's at least a titanium bauble, which is not the worst thing in the world. And then it can also just have some weird cases. I think the biggest benefit with it is any deck that wants to like instant out their hand. So like you mentioned, Ziggy, or a deck that has go again inherently, so they can just like start with this card and then play the rest of their hand after it resolves.
Just like Aurora.
Yeah, like Aurora could have embodiment of lightnings. I don't think that you often want to use embodiment of lightnings on this thing unless your hand is really funky, but that is something you can do. It's still a 0 for 5 go again if you have an embodiment of lightning and you arsenal it. Add a blue, by the way, so you could just pitch this. And then this is a great second cycle card for the same reason, because if you can make an embodiment of lightning, this is a blue pit card you pitch that can attack for a lot with go again. Trying to think what else. There's got to be some other decks that this is good into. I think at minimum, this card will be a problem in some future hero. At a minimum, this will be a very strong card in a future hero. That's my thought. Like it might not have. I think it just gets its place and it'll be like an okay card in some decks.
Yeah, I see this as like a majestic that a hero maybe runs, but doesn't make it into a lot of competitive lists because it's too hard to play around and get the actual effect off of it. This feels like a Vipox to me.
Yes, it has it's very similar to Vipox, except Vipox was a red, and that's what made it bad. Yeah. If Vipox was a blue, it would have been very good. It would have been running a lot of decks, right?
That's true.
Yeah, strong card. I like it. All right, what's our next one? Your favorite?
Here we go. This is the card, which we'll get into it. It is Ominous Excavation. It is a blue, 0 cost, generic instant. It is a rare card, which is absolutely insane to me. This feels majestic power level, but it says you may shuffle an instant card from your graveyard into your deck. If an aura you control was destroyed this turn, create a ponder token. And you may be like, well, why is this card so good? Why is this crazy? Like, at least to like Valda. Like, I play a lot of Valda. Everyone knows I play Valda. This card is insane in Valda. I feel bad for all the locals because I went on a little rant about this card. But let me pull up the little rant that I put in the chat here. But like, one, this is a blue card that doesn't take any action points. So you can easily like put it in your arsenal and play it from arsenal because it's a card you're happy, like it doesn't require anything. Gets around disruption. You have seismic surges leaving every single turn. You're always getting the ponder. You are always going to get that extra effect of gaining that ponder to draw the card on the end phase. And if you draw something good, you can arsenal it. You could draw another one of these and arsenal it. Like it is something you're happy to arsenal. It's also an instant, so you can make it look like a pummel. So you attack holding this. Maybe you have an arsenal and like you have something in arsenal and you have something in this in hand. It looks like a pummel because there's no reason you'd keep 2 cards. I'm gonna pummel you from arsenal. Or say I have like Like it just looked like two floating, one in hand, no arsenal. It could be a pummel, it could be whatever. And that's where it's like it looks like a pummel on certain points. It also it's super easy to pitch until late game because it's a blue and it allows you to late game put in the text. That's not even like the text of the card. I haven't even gotten to the text of the card where it puts an instant back into your deck. And that's where it's like if you're running I like this made me want to build the Volda deck. Like I've been touching up my deck. I put three. I think it might be something that's a two of just because it doesn't block, but it lets me put Seismic Eruption back in my deck, which late game gives me a free or if not cheap attack that with Dominate. It's pretty much copies 4 through 6 of Seismic Eruption that give you a Ponder. You don't get it immediately, but it is something that also makes your shield, Testament of Valhalla, more consistent in the late game because you can get that Seismic Eruption back and play your Seismic Eruption. It also, one sec, no pummel pitch. And like it actually pitch stacks itself. And like and in Valda specifically, like I like it she's the one guardian that does not care about the cost or the power of cards in her deck. And so having this card, it doesn't matter with the cost or power of it because my hammer is going to be swinging for 5 and my like I don't have any like clash cards. And a lot of the block cards that you like the Crash and Bash which used to be in the list isn't really in the list anymore. So you don't need the blue crush cards. So it really is the only downside is that it doesn't block. But being able to play this to get my best card back in the deck. And another thing I've seen other people talk about is getting back Leyline of the old ones, but I don't actually think it's going to be as relevant and as strong as people think it will be because you cycle that in your deck, you wait, you have to draw and play it anyways. And usually, if you're playing this card, I assume it's later in the game. And if you've lost your ley line, it's late in the game. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it's a ley line card, but it's a seismic eruption. This just says 3 more dominates in deck. It is
Why is it
an
3 more
insane
dominates
card
again?
because it gets seismic erupt. Volda says
Right,
three
for
or
seismic
more
eruption.
dominate. But yeah, you put seismic eruption back in your deck. It is I love this card. This card is so cool. I think it's insanely strong. I don't I don't know how like I say insanely strong. I think it's a very strong card. I this feels majestic power level to me. I don't understand how it's a rare. And I don't like I don't know. This one card makes me super excited to play Valda.
So,
Also, a small other thing, it makes your overcrowded's block for 4 in decks that don't use tokens. Because you have a seismic surge and a ponder token.
yeah. Actually, that's really cool that it synergizes with overcrowded. So I think my only counterpoint is that I think that you'll like how often would you say a ponder is really good for you in your deck?
It gets better the more cards that I have like that. Like, I obviously want to draw into any of my reds. If I draw into another seismic, I'm pretty happy. Leyline, I'm happy about. Like my blue defense reactions, promising terrain, Terra Sunder. If I draw into another ominous or overcrowded, I'm pretty happy.
So you don't
The
want to
only
like
thing
the blue attacks, right? Is like the big one.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like tectonic instability, and like the other thing is depending on how many tectonics you've seen, the ponder could also be relevant that way. Where I haven't seen any of my tectonics. I'm halfway through my deck. I can take whatever card this is and arsenal it. It could be the gem for all I care. Because I'm gonna draw a tectonic in the next 1 to 2 hands based on probability. You probably wouldn't arsenal the gem. That's probably the one that you're really not happy to put in there.
Yeah.
I in probability wise, I can then play Tectonic to get that blue out of arsenal, draw a card, create seismic surge, create size, and then affect the opponent's arsenal at the same time. Like I think it is something that like tectonic instability makes your arsenal much more cyclable, especially with the ominous excavation. And I don't know. I'm really excited. I think the biggest downside is it doesn't block. In a guardian that already runs so many non-block cards. Like you have the gem, you have leyline, you have 3 seismic eruption. So I went from 5 non-block cards to 8 non-block cards, which is
Yeah.
like 1/10 of my deck. I cannot block.
So, yeah. So I think that's my main problem with it. is that you're seeing the upside of it without without seeing the downside of it. And the downside of it is that we're going into a pretty heavy on hit meta, and you're adding this zero block into your deck that you have to play aggressively unless you pitch it. Like, well, I mean that means you're playing it aggressively. If you're pitching it right, unless you're A/Bing with it, which I guess is an option. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is like when you play a card that doesn't block, you are telling yourself, unless outside of Arcane, I am attacking or playing this card. I'm not blocking with this card. I am purposefully making going to take damage in order to either do damage or do the effect. And I think that's not actually that good for that purpose. So here's the deal with this card, right? I see it as an anti-fatigue card, and that's basically the only purpose, right? You're shuffling a card back into your deck unless you have a power card as an instant that you're putting back into the deck, which is still anti-fatigue, right? Because you need to shuffle more power into your deck is basically what it ends up being. And that's the only purpose I see for it, is basically what I'm trying to get at, is that you are putting more power into your deck, and therefore it's an anti-fatigue tool. You do get to shuffle your deck as well, which depending on the fatigue matchup is good or bad, because you can't pitch stack anymore, or you mess up your pitch stack rather. And then the ponder token won't always be good for you, right?
And that's true. And especially going into the later of the game, it gets worse and worse and worse as I've used up a lot of those tools that can get rid of it.
That's the thing too. Actually, that's another point, is that late game this is really bad because your random arsenal could be stuck there forever if you're in a blocking pattern, right? Like let's say you put them in their place, and your ponder put them in their place, like, and you're at 8. You might not be able to ever play that. It might just be stuck in your arsenal for the rest of the game, right? So like, I don't think it's a bad card. I think that its strength is as an anti-fatigue tool, or for fatigue decks to get to fatigue even more. One of my first thoughts was actually you get to recur Sigil of Solace with this, which is kind of funny for the fatigue decks, and you can also, some people pointed out, you get to put back like Oblivion to get Nazareth twice, or I forget what the other one is to get the other ally in Leviathan, Blasphemous
Doomsday.
Doomsday, yeah. So those are my first two. Those are my thoughts. Is like you can get power cards to play against fatigue, or you can get a strong card as fatigue. But I don't necessarily see this being a strong card if you are playing a normal like first and a half cycle game.
So the other thing that like Valdo tries to do is she does just take turns from the opponents. Like, I'm gonna throw a spine with dominate, or I'm gonna pummel, put them in their place, and the opponent doesn't get a good turn off, or I just tear asunder, whatever. The having blues like this allows me to, oh no, like I took momentum and now I have an all blue hand. It allows me to like, okay, I can still create a seismic surge, throw hammer, and play this to then like search for like and then put a like seismic eruption back into my deck. I do agree with a lot what you said. It gets, I say, worse the later the game goes. Getting a seismic eruption is still really strong late game, but it gets worse the later the game goes. It's just, so that's why I'm like, I think it might be a 2-up, but I do think it ends up in the Valdo list. I think that the benefit of I took momentum and I get to put my strongest card in deck back into my deck, and then on another turn set up another dominate. And I mean, like, I actually, the Valhalla Riven is like, you were running those just for the extra seismic search generation, but they were terrible in any other position. Well, this is like, at least like they blocked 3, great, but it's a block card, so I can't arsenal it. And it pitches for yellow, which is also more awkward than not. So, but then like the ominous excavation is a blue that lets you cycle in another seismic, where like another seismic generator, which is what Valhalla Riven wanted to be, was a seismic generator.
Yeah, but like, is that the cost spending? It's like, what I'm trying to get at is like you're using an offensive tool to potentially get a new offensive tool in your arsenal with the ponder token, right? I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about it. I think that you're gonna end up playing it and you're gonna be like, man, I wish this card blocked 3 most of the time when you draw,
We'll see.
when you draw it. I do think, and unfortunately, Prism is kind of one foot out the door, but I think this is very good in Prism. You get to recur your Arc Light Sentinels. You get to recur Genesis. What's the one
that is like what a couple of the things I was thinking of with it too. Which, like, I guess, like, looking at it from my perspective too, like decks that put this in their deck, I'm excited that they have more non-blocks. And again, I think that's the biggest downside is that it doesn't block.
Yes.
If this was an instant card that blocked, this would definitely be a Majestic. But
even if it blocked 2, I think it'd be much more reasonable.
If it blocked 2, I think that card would be like, it would definitely be a Majestic level card.
Wait, this might be a
like
Lyeth. This might be a Lyeth card. You get to bring back Leave Them Hanging. I've been looking at instance the whole time. That's why I've been like looking off screen. I've been looking at instance you can recur with this. Leave Them Hanging is a very strong one you get to recur.
But like this is a card, and the thing about like Valda was the blue slot that this is filling was the slot that I was like just filtering through trying to find something that felt like it fit for a long time. And it was like in the last meta, the one where I like I was running, which I think this was just wrong, but this just shows you how like flexible the blue spot was. I was running Warmonger's Diplomacy and I didn't resolve it a single time. And it's like there's cards like and there was a while when I was running Draw a Crowd as that boost spot. Oh, and then you could there was like this round's on me that was in that blue slot. It was just cycling so much trying to figure out exactly which like what kind of blue would fit in that slot that would feel good when you needed to keep momentum. And I think this card can, and like I do get a lot of your downsides, and I think that's why like I said it's probably a 2 of. I want to test it. I have a 3 of, but it's probably a 2 of because of its downsides. But it's something that I still think has a lot of upside by putting the best card in deck. The best card in deck back in deck.
Ooh. Might be good in Fatigue Pleiades. Probably just as like a 2 of.
Yeah.
But it's
I think it is a super cool card. And I'm really excited because of that card. Like,
it is a cool card.
Care. Yeah. It's like, personally, I'm not a fan of, like, Lightning and Runeblade, Illusionist, and Wizard. Like, those are my 3 least favorite classes. And a talent that I like Elemental, but Lightning has not piqued my interest. So, really, this set just didn't look interesting. But this one card has made me excited for this set.
I think there's been so much. I mean, I already have a very interesting card, or card I'm very interested in already in this set. I think this set is so cool. I think all the expansion cards have been really sick.
Mm-hmm. I think it is a super cool set. It's just one that I'm not personally excited for. It's like it doesn't do anything I want to do. I'm like, it's cool to see all this stuff coming out and some of these really strong cards. But it's like, there's nothing for me. And that's like how Flesh and Blood is. Like, I mean, I got spoiled for choice. I just had Guardian on Guardian on Guardian. But it's like, there's nothing for me this set. Like, I'm not that excited. Not that it was a bad thing. I'm just like, this isn't for me. But this card makes me very excited, and I'm excited to test with it.
Trying to see if I can find whether or not the next spoiler is for sure CC playable or not. But sorry, do you have anything else to say about Ominous Excavation before we talk about the next one?
No, I'm just excited. And you'll see me.
I think it's really cool.
At least a little bit.
I think it's a really cool card. Unfortunately, I don't have. It looks like this card is not in Fabry, so I can't put it up on screen. But the next card we have is Drinking Buddy. It is a red 2 cost, 6 power, 3 block, generic attack action. We don't know what rarity this yet, and I'll get to that in a second. And it says, when this attacks, each hero may search their deck for an item with potion or brew in its name and put it into the arena. Each hero that does shuffles their deck. If 2 or more heroes put a card into the arena this way, this gets go again. And this was revealed as a giveaway promo card on every World Tour stream, and it has a promo symbol, and the card code is LSS023. So we're not sure if this is CC playable. The thought is it's not. It might be like a another promo only
pretty
card.
sure it's a pit fight card.
It looks like a pit fight card, but
yeah,
it's just reasonable enough to be CC playable. Is the thing.
It is.
But it's also super strong if it's CC playable, because if you get to play this and pull out a time snap potion, that's so good in so many decks. You don't even need to go again. You just get to like throw a 2 for 6 and also get a free card out of it. I hope that it's not CC playable for that reason. I think it's super strong if it isn't. I think it's a really cool card if it isn't, though, for what it's worth. I think getting to play this card and have more time snap potion outlets is pretty cool. I think that's the only reasonable potion to grab, right? Let me look at potion really quick.
You could grab energy potion.
You can grab energy potion. You can grab healing
energy
potion.
Is actually really strong.
Actually, healing potion would have been really good for Verdance. Verdance probably actually would have run this card to tutor healing potion. But those are the only 3, really.
It's a healing potion. Let's play this to search for another one.
Yeah, it's really just healing potion, energy potion, and time snap potion, and time snap is definitely the strongest. There's only one brew card.
You could the best brew card.
Yes.
You could. This makes all the potions much more viable. There's Potion of Strength, which has not been ever played to my knowledge, and this allows you to search out a Potion of Strength, put it in the field, and then you just get Goliath Gauntlet. Like the opportunity cost to run potions is so much less. You don't have to play the action. It is just your next attack gets +2.
That's true.
And that could be super relevant. So that's this card makes any potions a lot more reasonable.
That's a really good point, actually. It does, because the potions are blues, and so you can just run them in most decks pretty easily. And
we can look through a lot more.
It makes it like a 2-card 8, and you can put it on you can wait to use Potion of Strength on a CNC or a Weakest Link or Humble or whatever, right? You can make your on hits much more menacing.
I mean, even Potion, it's Potion of Clarity. You could be a stack Kano and run Potion of Clarity and just have that in the first cycle. Potion of Seeing. Look at the target hero's hand, which is something that's that's not as strong, but it could be something that's relevant based on oh, I'm a warrior that has some mixed attacks. I need to see if they have a reaction and know how they play. Always knowing the opponent's hand is strong. I don't know if that would make it into a list, but Potion of Luck could make it into this, and Potion of Luck would make it into a Valda build with the...
It's funny, yeah.
Because Potion of Luck's downside and the... what is... Earthlore Bounty, because then you just play this, set this down, and then you can instant speed, shuffle your hand, and try again and get a lot of Seismic Surge on a different turn. And then Potion of Ironhide, just attack action cards you can.
I was about to say that one. That's Fatigue decks would run this combo. For sure.
This, I think all of a sudden every single potion looks a lot more viable. I honestly think the worst one's Potion of Seeing, and that says look at the opponent's hand.
Which still would be potentially fine in an Illusionist. See if they have any poppers they have.
Yeah, and that's why I'm Potion of Luck, if even Illusionist likes to run that so much. Oh no, I gotta shuffle my hand, but Valda likes that, and I'm sure just being able to fix hand fix is good. I think that this card, if it were CC playable, I don't think it's going to be, but if it were CC playable, would be really strong.
I think there's some really cool lines you can go for. I think that it would open up some really fun deck building, but it would eventually devolve into, okay, the Fatigue decks play this and grab Potion of Ironhide, and the Illusionists play this and grab Time Snap Potion.
Yeah, and I mean, I could even see Guardians playing this just to grab Time Snap Potion.
You probably grab Energy Potion actually.
Or Energy Potion.
On
Either or,
demand
like,
pummel.
just, you've got a point. All Red Hand. Anyways,
That too. Yeah, fix your all red hand. Yeah, just it's probably. I mean, it is too strong to be CC playable, I think, but it's a cool card.
it's interesting. We'll see. I doubt it is. I think it really is a pit fight card.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, I'm pretty sure it's like, oh, one person per stream gets it, but
Yep. That is all the spoilers we have. We kind of have like a mini extra spoiler. It's the pre-release kit for Omens of the Third Age. It's a pretty cool little kit that you basically get when you play the pre-release. It comes with a full suite of cold foil equipment. They are very basic equipments, but it's still equipment, guaranteed.
oh, they are generic.
Yes. And they all say instant tap your hero, destroy this, prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So
I'm just gonna run all this in a marionette. They'll never hit me with their dagger.
Yeah, right. And then it comes with a really cool Marvel card, Glide Through Starlight, which is it's like a 1-for-5 red. I think the card art looks cool. I don't know how playable it will be in anything except for maybe Ziggy, but it's cool. And then
I want to say the art is so cool because you are the perspective, like, it's your perspective on the art.
Yes.
Because it's as your hands reaching out and grabbing like Aurora's hand. Like, it is actually like, this is your perspective. Like, this is you seeing this go on. It's actually pretty cool for an art.
Actually pull up for the stream, yeah. The Marvel is gorgeous too. And then you get the macro, the one where everyone starts with lightning flow and they have spell void, and then you get all 3 hero tokens and their weapons. So it's like you get the guaranteed tokens, which is nice. So no real spoilers outside. I think the Marvel was new. That's cool.
I mean, I think the equipment's new too, but like,
it's generic.
It's generic. Like, I think generic actually makes it cooler because you can like run it as like a prevention effect. Yeah, and I think that's actually super relevant that now every single class has a way to prevent some damage.
That's true. Yeah, the fact that it's generic and the only cost is tapping your hero. You don't have to like pay one like the seeker equipment.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I think this is actually a pretty strong effect.
Wait, so that's like, hold on. You think that just generic tap prevented damage is really strong, right?
Yeah, you know.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
I do know where you're going with this.
So last week Jacob was like, those generic boots that they have, is it temper, and then temper 1 with the potential, if you take arcane damage, it becomes temper 2 for the turn, and then tap destroy this, prevent a damage. You're like, oh, it's not that good, right? Weird.
So when I say it's not that good, it just doesn't feel like legendary good. But like, these are commons that you just get. Like, they're promo cards. They're different. You can play these in Sage. Like,
yeah, actually playing them in them being Sage worthy or Sage. Well, we don't know for sure. They're promos, right? They probably are commons, but yeah, if they're Sage playable, they're actually not that bad either.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. And I say this as like I could see it being run. Like, I think the boots are a very, very comparable pair of boots to the legendary boots. Because again, like marionette, like you're only using the prevention effect. That's like, it literally does the exact same thing in a marionette.
I mean, you can block with it and then on that same chain link or the next chain link use the effect. But
the problem is, like, yeah, and it's like, oh, I guess you could do it on a Kiss of Death turn,
right,
and block 1, but then it's gonna get shredded. Like, the T-Toxin comes out and it's just these boots.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's why I'm like, I think in a marionette, they're really the same boot, and that's when they're their strongest.
I think in a marionette, it actually gets 1 extra block. Because like you mentioned, you the first time they throw a Kiss of Death, you just put this in front of Kiss of Death, right? And now it blocks
Yeah,
2.
and if they don't have the T toxin, then yeah, it does block 1 extra.
Yeah. I mean, even if they had
But
T toxin, it's like they use T toxin. Like they didn't arsenal it for the next turn. Right?
Well, I'm pretty sure you normally just play T toxin.
You probably just normally just play it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
It
I
depends
don't
on the
think.
hand, right? It depends on the hand. But anyway, we're
I
getting
mean,
the
you
weeds.
gain 1 if you decide to block out the opponent's Kiss of Death, but they're gonna have T toxin.
They don't always have T toxin. If they have it, they have it. That's what you gotta say.
So the way that Volda beats Marionette is if Kiss of Death comes out, you can't block that turn. You just eat what damage they throw.
Yeah.
Because it's yeah.
That's most decks.
So,
You just don't block Kiss of Death.
yeah, and that's like the problem is like Kiss of Death comes out and you're like, so I'm ready to take 20 damage and let them draw because I can't block this. They have T toxin. Because they always sit on an arsenal for like 6 turns before it happens.
Yeah. But all right, we're getting the weeds. Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. But anyways, I think these cards are good for generic, is what my point is.
Yeah.
They're Iron Rot, but better.
Overall, really cool spoilers. With one very specific, very good spoiler. I'm so excited for this set to come out. When does it come out again? When is the release date?
Is it May 27th?
When was the third age? In stores May 29th. So end of the month.
Okay.
But the pre-releases would be is it the week before or 2 weeks before? No, it's the week before, right? So the pre-releases in 2 weeks.
And then the world premiere would be 2 weeks before.
So the world premiere is next weekend, and then the weekend after that. So we're gonna have all the cards next weekend. So I basically have this week to prepare Betsy before I probably switch to Ziggy.
I can help you build a Betsy deck. I can build you an aggressive Betsy deck.
No, I'm so excited.
That's what I'll do once we're done with the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, unironically, do you not work today? Because if so, we could cook up some Betsy.
I'm ready to cook up some Betsy.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So moving on, so we don't we actually get finished with this podcast. We had a second week of skirmish season. A quarter was again Ira, and then it was 11% Icelander, 8% Kano, 8% Oldhim, 7% KO, and then like Briar, 5, Valda, so on and so forth. Pretty similar to last week. Hasn't changed much. Any notes on that before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
Okay. Sage voting is going to be May 25th to 27th. For those of you that don't know, that is when we as a community get to vote on which Sage decks, which Sage heroes are going to be banned for the next season. In addition, so three heroes will be banned based on our vote, and one hero will be benched from LSS. Actually, I meant to look up. Do we know the benched hero before we vote?
I think they choose after we do.
You think?
I would assume. I don't know. I didn't actually read too much into this, but I would assume so.
I'm really curious if it mentioned that. I'll look it up in the background, but I think you're probably right. I think that we don't know
because
the
it would
benched
make the most.
hero.
It would make the most sense from their perspective too, because they could say like this one hero is being held back because these 3 heroes exist, and then say the community hits those 3 heroes. They're like, this hero is going to be a problem now because the only thing holding back Oldhim, say like, oh, we voted out Kano, Florian, and brain thing, please. Who else is getting the Oldhim? But anyways, and Enigma. Say we voted out Kano, Florian, and Enigma. Then like LSS could be like, Oldhim is way too strong. There's no decks that prey on Oldhim. And so they can go and respond to what we've done and take out the deck that would be problematic because of it. Because of that situation. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, so it says the benched heroes, which actually we're choosing which ones are benched in addition. The benched heroes will be announced in the May 28th ban and restricted announcement. So I think we don't know when we make our vote what they're going to bench. I do wonder if they'll always choose a hero that wasn't already going to be benched, or if there's a possibility that's only 3 benched heroes because we basically double up on one. But anyway, May 25th to 27th, there will be 3 potentially plus a bench, the LSS chosen bench. You have to have played in an official Silver Age event in the current season to be able to vote on this. Everyone gets 1 vote. You actually don't get to vote on 3 heroes. You only get 1 vote of who to bench. And it will be done in your gem account. There will be a drop-down menu in your gem account to choose which hero you want benched. And then,
So
like I
listen to
mentioned,
me real quick.
go for it.
Ignore the rest of the pie. Everyone listening, ignore the pie chart. The only thing we need to focus on is Kano. He's the real problem.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I mean, he still was 3rd place in this skirmish weekend. So
he was.
And he's also won like 3/4 of the skirmishes. Like, I think he's.
Well, here,
so ignore the pie chart though.
But before we get into the predictions of what gets benched, yeah, so the BNR, the BNR will be on the 28th, so it's the day after voting closes, and it goes into effect the 29th. So we'll have a new Silver Age meta at the end of the month, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so now for predictions on what we think will get benched. What are yours?
Kano, Ira. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see.
Like,
it's tough to name 4 of them, right?
I want to say Kano, Ira, Oldhim, Briar.
Kano, Ira, Oldhim, Briar. Okay. My prediction, I think Ira will always get benched, whether by LSS or the community. I think Ira, people are probably getting tired of Ira. I do think that Wizards are the next in line, so it'll probably be Kano over Icelander, even though I think Icelander might deserve the ban over Kano. And then this is where it gets dicey. I think Briar needs to get benched with the upcoming cards. I think Briar needs to get benched. Oh wait, no, it can't be, right?
No, it can be benched, but when she comes back, they're gonna unban all her cards.
No, because any hero that has a Silver Age deck coming out can't be benched. But is it?
No, they can be benched, but when they come back into when they can be playable again, the cards in their Silver Age deck get unbanned.
No. So let me look at what Chapter 3 decks are being made. Chapter 3. So for Chapter 3, we're getting Blaze, Lyeth, Bolton, Briar, Gravy Bones, Icelander, Viserai, Bravo. No, wait, these already exist. Some of these already existed. Hold on.
Yeah, so what we're getting is
here we go.
Blaze, Briar,
Bolton,
yep.
Lyeth, and Gravy Bones. Yeah, these
it's
those 5. And they came out with it was in the Silver Age BNR. They mentioned that they are not benching or banning cards within the Silver Age decks. So I think that Briar is saved, guaranteed from getting benched.
No, so they did explain this in the article as well. You can still bench Briar, but when Briar comes back into the format, they will unban the cards that are in the Briar constructed deck, so people can play with those decks still.
I'm gonna look that up. Because the whole intent was that a new player could come up, buy one of the chapter decks, and be able to play it, and not find out that it's banned. And I think that includes getting benched. But let me double check, because if they specifically said otherwise,
something sure.
If they specifically said otherwise, like it can get benched, then sure. Silver Age. Here we go. Silver Age. We want to take this opportunity to clearly state our policy around Silver Age bans and their relationship to Silver Age pre-constructed decks. It is our intention to use all measures possible to make sure a Silver Age pre-constructed deck has at least 1 season of unimpeded legality. In the case of Chapter 1 and 2 decks, we will be delivering on this goal and not considering included cards for banning until the release of Omens of the Third Age. In the case of the upcoming Chapter 3 decks, this will also mean unbanning several cards that appear in these decks upon their release. Should a Chapter 3 hero be benched by community vote, cards will be unbanned in that hero's next season legality. Okay, so yeah, you're right. The last sentence there implies that should a Chapter 3 hero be benched, the cards would be unbanned in the hero's next season of legality. So they could be illegal the season that they come out, but then have 0 cards banned out of the deck the next season. Okay, fair enough. So we could choose to bench Briar. She would be benched for this upcoming season, and then the next season she would 100% come back, no banned cards.
Gives us time to take out chains, so we never have too crazy
yeah. So okay, so with that in mind, I still think Briar might get benched. Yeah. But not by LSS. LSS would never choose to bench Briar.
Oh, I don't think LSS would ever touch Briar.
Yeah. KO I think definitely gets benched, even despite the lack of results. So that my guess is Ira, KO, and then like Kano, Briar. I think that's my guess of 4. That's my prediction.
That's fair. I think that's a pretty good guess. Like, I think it's really like Oldhim and KO are the two that are like flip flopping for me.
Yeah, I think it's the Wizards. Is for me. I think the funky thing too is that because we only get 1 vote, there's going to be probably a very heavy vote for Ira, and then because there's so many less votes for the heroes, it could be like any mixed match of like the next performing heroes from like Icelander, Kano, Oldhim, KO, Briar, Valda, Florian. I think those could all get bans, get benched. But anyway,
take out Kano. That's all I have to say.
My vote. If I think the thing is that Ira always gets benched, so I might my word for the audience is don't vote Ira because she's always getting benched anyway. So vote for something else. that's my theory. That's my plea.
I think that's a very good plea. And
but yeah, do you want to do a brief talk about the lore drop before we close it up?
Which I mean, we've been going for a minute, but I can talk a little bit. All right. Well, I can just drop a little bit. I'm just excited they dropped lore. Like yes. they finally did something, and like, which is cool. And the other thing is like they updated some things, like the Arya page. They added a section for Arya pre Cataclysm, which is the Third Age. So they finally put some stuff in there, which is really cool. And then they also have a new region, or not region, like dimension, really, of Wraith, where like you had like Wraith and you had Arethiel, and now there's the what is it called? Where did I have that? Hold up. You have a new region, and it's called the Nebulous Rift, and it's like the area in between like Arethiel or Wraith and Arethiel, and it's kind of just the magic that. So to go in a short little spiel, the 3 elementals sacrificed themselves to stop the old ones from pretty much eating the world, and in doing that, they ripped the like Arethiel and like Wraith apart, and then that created the Nebulous Rift, which is the space in between, and that's actually where Ziggy's actually from the Third Age, because Ziggy is actually one of the creators of Acilio. But anyways, Ziggy got ripped from Wraith into the Nebulous Rift because Valhalla, or part of Valhalla, or no, it wasn't Valhalla, it was the Ark Keep, where a lot of the wizards started doing a lot of their stuff and studying, was filled with so much magic that when the planes got rift, it got sucked into that like demi dimension. But anyways, it's cool and interesting, and I want more lore. Drop more lore.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing a lot better with like flavor text on cards too lately, which is good. Yeah, I think ultimately more lore is better. I love hearing about the lore from you because I feel like you can explain it better than what I would get from reading the article myself, honestly.
It's just crazy because I'm not very good at explaining it at all. But it's very cool. So it's like I just think it's cool that we one have more areas, we have more history on the like world of Wraith. Because like we had a lot of like modern history, but we didn't like, but we knew of the Third Age and knew of its existence and knew that there was some powerful wizards and oh something happened. But like very recently they've been going back and like oh this is like with Guardian Mastery Pack like boom this is what the Third Age like what was happening. Here's an actual battle, the last battle, which froze the Olin, and apparently now we know took the what are they called? The Archmage or the Aether Scribes, and took the group of Aether Scribes and ripped them into another demi dimension. Like it is really cool and interesting. And so we're getting a lot more of that prehistory or like the Third Age history, and now we're going to like, and now we're going to be able to see how it affects modern history. And please bring us to Monarch next set. There's a rift above Monarch.
we
There's a new rift.
We know Monarch's coming next set, right?
We have to. Well,
I thought it was like confirmed.
it's like 99.9% chance is what I hope.
Yeah.
So they said that Monarch was going to be coming out this year, like 2 years ago.
Yes.
And the LSS, but they also said 3 years ago that it was coming out last year. And that's why we're like, the LSS is very excited about set 20. And
I can't wait for Prism 4.
Yes. But like LSS is very excited for set 20. And they have now set up a nebulous rift. Or not a nebulous rift, but like a rift above Solana, which is being sieged right now. It like even says in the lore article. One sec. Let me go back to the specific page. But it like even says it starts listing locations, and one of them is the besieged city of Solana has a rift above it. So we can go back there, and that would be cool because like what if like Prism summon well it's a little weird because this feels like it changes a little bit. Or like it how it referenced the Aesir is it says the Aesir are in Irathiel now, which is where the Embra are from. So the Embra Aesir. And there's a lot of lore implications. And again, like I think that DM Armada goes over a lot of this very well too. Like like before I read the lore, I actually watched his video on the lore, which helps you kind of like formulate all this. But it's cool. Like I like the lore. Give me more lore.
More lore.
I just want like more.
Give me more about Log.
Give me give me the history of Log. Like
the history of Log.
I like, and it would be cool to be like, okay, what's Betsy doing right now? Like,
you know what? You know what I really want to see? I want to see a Dev Touch article on Log. That's what I want to see.
That would be cool. That would be very cool. But yeah, anyways, like if you want to read the lore and like understand more of what I'm talking about, like jump into there. I think one website that I always love to recommend to people is Legendary Stories. Let me make sure I'm giving out the right
really
website.
Nice resource.
Stories.
If you DM it to me, I'll put it in the link.
.net.
I'll put it in the description.
Yeah. But legendarystories.net is just a website that does a lot of flesh and blood lore if you want to dive deeper. But even then, you can just read this article and understand more about what's going on in current flesh and blood events. So, and it's cool because like I'm hoping that like all these omens next set all like okay, like the AC are coming back, like which is obvious now that like the worlds are merging back, and that's why the flow is like it's almost like the magic is coming back to the realm, and that's why the flow and Arya is shifting more, and everything is just a lot more like chaotic now. The veil between Arya and the rest of the world is fading, so it's easier to travel between it. The veil of Mistveil is fading, so it's easier to go into there. It's like everything's like slowly becoming one again, where it's like the world separated itself after the events of the cataclysm or I forget what they call it. But anyways, after all that happened, the world kind of separated itself in a lot of ways, but now it's all coming back together. And that's also Irathiel is also getting closer to Wraith.
That's all. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I can't wait for them to make an animated series eventually.
Yeah, like 20 years down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be cool.
But yeah, anything else before we end this episode?
Huh? Let me just double check. I don't.
We'll talk about Colin Jakarta next week, whenever we
Next
have
time.
more.
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think I've said enough.
All right. Well, if you all would help us out by liking and subscribing, that would be great. And then on whether on Spotify or on YouTube, let us know in the comments below what's your favorite spoiler so far and why is it log. Until next time, I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
Thanks for watching and listening.